let's talk about Taste Holdings. This one is interesting because it's been listed for a while. It's done pretty well recently, been in the news. Remember, it owns a jewellery business called National Wholesale Jewellery, and then it owns a bunch of food brands. The original ones were Scooters and Maxis, but in recent times it has introduced, first of all, the Fish and Chip Company, which was a big, low-end, high-value item, which has really done very well in peri-urban and high-transit areas. Then it got the Dominos license to bring pizza from the global Dominos group into this country, and then to put a cherry on top of it all, they got the Starbucks deal. So Starbucks is coming to South Africa. It looks as though they're going to go into a couple of high-end locations in Sandton, probably in early 2016. Market capitalization of Taste Holdings is 1.3 billion rand. Price-to-earnings ratio high at 65. Dividend yield of 1.5. So Chris Carlo gets the deal. That's Carlo Gonzaga. The share price goes berserk. 5 rands a share, but it has settled back now to about 4.45 or something. So was that just a little bit of unrealistic exuberance, or where ought it to be trading, do you think?
Yeah, look, I think it's a little bit on the high side, I must confess. But, you know, you've got to give it to Carlo Gonzaga. He's an incredibly good operator. Hugely charismatic, but at the same time, he understands what he's doing. And I've been wrong with NWJ. I didn't think that was a great fit. He's proved me wrong. I wasn't sure about Domino's, but Domino's is really doing nicely. And they, by the way, they sell awfully nice pizzas. So
I must try them.
Fish and Chip, no, it's taking a bit of strain because it's at the low end of the market, hugely competitive, and by their own admission, it's taking a bit of strain. But I think that will come right.
Really? So Fish and Chip Company, which did very well, is getting competition from the likes of Hungry Lion and some of the other players.
It's a very overtraded market. So that's problematic. My other concern lies with, are they really going to be able to roll out 150 Starbucks stores? Which is
well, just clarify that, because I would have thought Starbucks would have been like 5 or 6 stores in super high-end malls, and then they would have had like deals where the malls paid them to come and so on. So they want 150 of those.
That's what I see, and I haven't been able to confirm that figure. But you know, I'm loath to go against what Carlos says because I've been wrong on so many occasions.
They'll be competing directly in this market with Vida E Cafe, which is a big local-owned player.
Vida Cafe, Seattle, which is in the exclusive books.
And there must be quite a few of those 2 stores if you add them up.
Not that many. There's a few. Been there, you know, the fair trade operators. There's a lot of them. And of course, within the famous brand stable, you've got House of Coffees and you've got Brazilian, this type of thing.
Yes.
So there is undoubtedly a lot of competition. Coming back to what I said right at the beginning about Starbucks, though, there's a great deal of education to be had in South Africa. Most South Africans drink a thing called chicory. It's not really coffee at all. So I think the move, the ability, the potential to move from there to the real thing is enormous. And that's what I think Carlo's probably looking at. I'm just dubious about the timescale.
Yeah, so you mean all the Nescafe and Coffee Ice and Frisco and all of those drinkers need to be migrated?
That's the thing.
And then the top-end market can all get a little bit bigger.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so how do you feel about Taste, hot or not?
I've got to say Taste is still hot because I've got a lot of faith in the management team of this company.
And I do like it. And if you think about it, if people were prepared to pay 5 rand a share for it a few weeks ago and it's settled back, you're getting a 50 cent rather, 10 cent, 50 cent, 10% discount if you buy them now. So